I'm Harry Cockburn and I'm at Devonshire Terrace in the City for the Knowledge Live event, where experts and brokers have gathered to talk about personal lines fraud. What's the most common form of fraud that you've encountered?
For us, it's more on the personal line side, the household insurance fraud. We get a lot of TVs pushed off and damaged, normally because of upgrading. Everybody wants the latest technology. That's mainly what we see. Lots of opportunist fraudsters and lots of them.
The most common fraud that we've seen recently is maybe non-disclosure of claims, non-disclosure of accidents and convictions. But we've taken inroads as a business to try and protect ourselves and the insurer with the implementation of queue checking and also ID verification linked with credit checking, really, which has given us a far more sort of positive result for both ourselves and for our insurers.
Do you think that brokers have a responsibility to weed out fraud?
I think they have a responsibility to help the insurers, yes. So if the industry can reduce the level of fraud, that's good for society, that's good for brokers, that's good for insurers. The only people it's bad for is the fraudsters. So I think the whole industry has a responsibility to kind of try and drive it out. And it's about working in partnership. It's not just the insurer's job, it's not just the broker's job. And that's kind of why we're here today, to be fair, to kind of share ideas and understand what we're all doing. So it's for the whole industry, I think.
Do you think that brokers have a responsibility to weed out fraud?
Yes, because otherwise, if the online systems get sophisticated enough to spot fraud, the fraudsters are going to go to the brokers because they know that they're an easy target. So we've got to protect our image.
What do you think is most damaging about fraud for the industry as a whole?
The cost and also that trust relationship. It's been very difficult trying to build up that trust between the insurer, the broker and the insured, and just by putting the premiums up because of this fraud, because of the size of it, people just don't understand it. The education for understanding why their premiums have gone up so high just isn't there.
I think the most damaging piece, as far as I can see, is that the industry is trying to react in a way that's going to create an equal reaction from consumers at the end of the day. So it's almost like the consumers feel like the industry is calling them a fraudster even when they're being honest.
What have you found out today that you didn't know before?
I hadn't realised until Bob Wishart was talking about that there was a special investigation team within the City of London looking at insurance fraud. I think that's quite interesting, and I didn't realise it was independently funded by the insurers, to be fair. I think the thing from that also for me would be the fact of we need to promote what they're doing out to the general public so they realise the importance of why insurers are obviously sort of investing their money in schemes like that to help reduce the fraud.
It's interesting to see just how prevalent fraud is, because as I say, I think living in the home counties as I do and working in the home counties, I don't think I've experienced some of the levels that have been talked about here, and it's quite surprising the extent of fraud in the industry.
Have you been enjoying yourself today?
Yes, very worthwhile. Being a one-man business, I need to get out to this sort of thing so that I don't get isolated.